I'd say now's as good a time as any. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? We did start at 8, but we were doing a multi-stream project, which gave us a fat black screen on Twitch, so maybe we'll take another stab at it, but we rolled back to the standard YouTubes. I was trying to stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time because it was 2012 technology, but it seems like we have lost it to time. Perhaps we can get AI to fix it for us, but that will be another story for another day. So, welcome back. It's just gone 8 o'clock on the 25th of June, and that would be a Wednesday. Hello Full Dive Media, hello Apolloni Art, and hello Kurt Curtis. Thank you all for joining me as we exit the gate. So, today we're going to be looking at a bunch of things. Mostly it's going to be vibes, guys. Big vibes. And that's pretty much because I'm working on a bunch of other stuff and I have to try and keep it separate. It's the only way I can stop jump scares. Trying to keep my things separated and all that. But to be honest, the big thing is that, right? We've got a new model I want to take a quick look at, which has been sent in. Let's see, what's this one called now? Oh yeah, if you're watching live or if you're watching later, don't forget there is a Discord. You can join it. The link's in the description. We have set up a new Twitch account, but I got a couple of software updates to show, and I got some cool stuff to talk about on that front because it's like things get easier and easier all the time. Hello Dragon, welcome to the show. So yeah, things get easier and easier all the time, and we're going to do a dry run on my latest 2 releases. I think there's still some problems with Speak to Me, but I think the reason is because I'm testing it on a small computer with not even, I don't think it's even using the GPU, to be honest. It's a bit strange. Like, it does seem to, because it's loading the model in, but it just seems quite slow. So we're going to see how that performs on a machine with a bigger GPU. The simple idea was I got everything working with Speak to Me. So you say your question, it prompts the model you chose from Olama, and then it tells you the answer with Kokoro. There's 2 problems which I'm working on at the moment. The first problem is the voices. It has all the voices, but for some reason it's not passing the custom voice that you choose, and it just falls back to like one that works. And the issue was that the answers are so long that Kokoro can't take them, so we have to do a streaming mode which basically breaks up all of the responses into chunks, which then go into Kokoro and then they come out as they're ready, and then when it's finished you get one final answer which can be downloaded. Obviously it plays out loud, but I had it archiving everything, the text and the audio. But anyway, that's one of the things I want to look at. But it's less about the thing and more about how it was done. Because I'm actually learning stuff I didn't know. Like, I'm probably more familiar with NPM and Node than I ever have been. And then also, I started using Vite, V-I-T-E, which is a React TypeScript framework, as far as I can tell. And it seems to play really nice with how we do things. So, for example, you don't necessarily have to completely shut it and restart it every time you make significant changes. I mean, you do, but doesn't seem like nearly as much. It seems to have its own like built-in manager for updating it. And there's just a bunch of things that it just made developing with AI easier with Vite. If I wanted to do React and TypeScript, which is basically nice web UIs and MCP code, which is like bread and butter of what we do here at the moment. There's also a couple of new protocols I'd like to take a look at. We haven't even looked at them, so we'll probably start off by just having a quick conversation with the we'll have a conversation with the framework, basically. But there's all sorts of different avenues, guys. It's really difficult. So what I try to do is I try to just take one thing at a time, get that out of the way, because these 2 hours are like my 2 hours where I do whatever I want, because at the moment I'm working very hard on big projects for people, and so as a result I'm not doing this all day just getting, you know, I wish I had more time. I think the stuff that we're going to look at today, I actually stopped working on tools down at about 9 o'clock last night before I went to bed. And then today I had my car in for a service. Thank you very much to the local dealer, the Lexus place. They looked after me. It was very nice. I got a rental car for the day. It was a hybrid, no, pure electric Lexus thing. Bloody hell, that thing was quick. I was like, whoa, this is almost too quick actually. Not gonna lie, that was a surprise, because it was like a black SUV. I was like, what the hell is this thing? It looked like a spaceship. And it had like 4-wheel drive electric dual motor. I was like, Jesus. Okay. Obviously they're new and they're trying to sell them, you know. Okay. So obviously the Origin AI project is looking really nice. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing a lot more with React, Tailwind, okay? Because I've been kind of crash coursing a bunch of experiments myself, and we're going to get into that. Because we're going to, yeah. So for example, I always like to start off the show with an example, yeah? So what we'll do is, this is the Gitty, you can forget that. We'll start a new one, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to do the deep research, obviously, okay? Now, I'm going to say it this time, so I'm going to say, let me move the mic, because otherwise I'm going to be hitting the keys weird all night. So, okay. We can begin planning, no. We can begin writing up the document for the, what was it called? Vite. Yeah. Vite. Dev team. I love these. The dev team handoff stuff works really well because they've all been trained to do the agentic handoff. So they do it in between each other or on their own all the time. So then what we're doing is we're basically saying, instead of doing like, you know, a bunch of packages that are being handed off between all these different processes, we're just going to do one big package. That's basically what I'm trying to do. This is like the one trip approach, because the thing is, when you use VSCode Sonnet4 in the chat on their website, it's not just the chat. A lot of people, like, we were right, okay? You remember how we used to say Midjourney isn't just text to image, it's a whole bunch of stuff, but you can't see it because they've cleverly put their web interface on top, or the bot doesn't, you know, it's not direct to the model. Like when you download Stable Diffusion, you have literally direct to the model. So these guys have got a specialist persona system like my Zero Vector Conversation, because it's modeled after Sonnet, not, you know what I mean? Like, I got the idea from looking at the logs of how they were doing it and saying, oh, do you reckon we could do that? And what they do is they have loads of specialized personas, agents running, and they pass plans to each other to get it done. So what we're doing is we're essentially doing that all in this chat, because we know that's what he'll do. So we can begin writing up the document for Vite Dev Team Handoff, okay, which will describe all these steps required to complete the first fully working production ready build. That's like a key thing, phrase. Production ready build. I like the term phrases. It's not magic words, it's magic phrases, because they're, I don't like to be arcane, but they're like incantations. But yeah, it's not magic, it's technology. So, which will describe all the steps required to complete the first fully working production ready build of, and then I'm going to say originai.com website template. Okay, now this is a bit strange because I haven't tried making a website with Vite yet. Not properly, anyway. Usually I'm making apps. So I want to see what happens because it might be quite interesting. So anyway, we can begin writing up the document for the okay. The plan will include, I've already said detailed instructions, haven't I? Describe all the steps. Okay. Detailed instructions, full code examples for the main page, scripts and style and wait. External styles, no. Additional imported CSS. Otherwise will be, I love how you just go, otherwise, so you've given this whole thing and then you go, otherwise it will be made out of marshmallows. You know what I mean? It's like there's things you can do with language where it's like, well, we've taken him one way, now we'll take him a different way, and it turns into a grammar exercise. Additional. And don't worry if you can't spell like me. There we go. You type too fast, don't worry about it. He'll understand your monkey gibberish. So the plan will include grammar, detailed instructions, full code examples for the main template page, HTML. Oh wait, we'll say that down here. Otherwise, will be built in HTML5, Tailwind, Font Awesome. On the, and now I'm going to throw a bit of a wrench in and see, this is the bit which is like my experiment. I know what I want to do, but I've got an experiment I want to do here, which is, what if I do my normal prompt, but then I specify that I want React TypeScript, because you're just shoving stuff in there on the React TypeScript Vite. I love Vite. I really loved enjoying the last few things I've been making with it. React TypeScript Vite. I would say stack, but I don't know if that's it's good enough. If it's good enough for Google, it's good enough for me. So let me just see now. What else do we need to do now? Where's the deep research part? You say, okay. Well, the deep research part is I wanted to make it so that this front page has an ability to completely change. You know what I mean? I want it to completely change. So, I wonder if there's a way to make it change the layout on refresh. Because there's nothing really here to deep research right now. Because when I look at this is going to do what I want it to do, but it's not really like, there's not really anything there. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. The front page will feature cards that lead to API endpoints. Now we're getting somewhere. Cards that lead to API endpoints. Well, it's like that. How does that mean anything, though? You know what I mean? So, no, actually, I'm changing my mind now. I don't want to do that. Because I was thinking, oh, we could expose some endpoints, but this is supposed to be a front page. Because I was thinking, you know, like there are free endpoints. It's possible to time people out. So it might be possible to put something up there which is like, you know, accessible and doing something. But again, you don't need deep research for that either. Is kebab a weapon? Do you know what? Someone asked me about that the other day, and when we're talking kebab case, yes it is. So let's just do a quick aside, because this is actually kind of important. What's this? Is this my educational system? Yes. So, kebab team. Oi! What just happened? Eh? What? Oh, right, it's just hijacked it. Okay, so while we're on the subject of this and I'm thinking about it, kebab case versus snake case. Discuss and explain the case types. That's actually really important. It just keeps coming up. I had it the other day, multiple times. So yeah, kebab is a weapon because if you use kebab case on the internet we use dashes to break up words that are all in lowercase. And if you don't do that, it breaks it. So as you can see, the hyphens resemble skewers that hold the kebab together. And so yes, kebab is a weapon because if you use kebab case when you should be using snake case, so if you use kebab case in Python, it won't work unless you know how to write a special parser to convert the hyphens into underscores. But that's quite an interesting one. But yeah, glad you asked that actually, because it's insanely relevant right now. And if you can see here, look, this is going to use snake, but website stuff is going to use kebab. So if you're using Python and HTML together, then there's a chance that a variable name will have hyphen or a file name will have hyphen when actually it needs. Well, it's less. I'm just trying to come up with a situation, but that's probably not the best example. But I think you get the point. The point is that, and there's more as well. There's snail case. I'm going to tell them off. You did not explain snail case or camel case. Come on, you're supposed to be smart. You're embarrassing me in front of all my friends. Yeah, where's the rest of them, bro? So camel case, because it has a hump. The first word, not the first letter. It's the first letter of the second word and every word thereafter. It's a bit of a strange pattern, but no separators, capitalizes first letter but not the first, so then you get humps. Zeus is like, I thought you were trying to make a meme. No, I'm just educational content, mate. We keep it clean. There's also Pascal case, which is just uppercase for the first, you know what I mean? It's just always uppercase. And that, of course, look. Oh, really? So we're using, think about it, for this. So it's funny, like, this is actually insanely relevant, yeah? Improper use of kebab can lead to code collapse because, like I said, if we're working in React with TypeScript, which we are, yeah, then it needs to be Pascal case. But if we're using JavaScript, which the website does use, so think about it, we're using all types, we're using all of them interchangeably, okay? And that's why when we start making complex stacks, they're all trying to use the names which aren't in the, yeah, I've made my point. I'm probably going to have to write a whole thing on this. But anyway, let's get this done, because I'm stalling. There's got to be something about this. I haven't given him any information about what Origin AI is or what it does or anything. I got it. We can do deep research. I love the word we can do deep research. It's terrible grammar, but I think it'll get me where I need to go. We can do deep research on dynamic discovery of index.html, what was it? Index.html pages in subdirectories below the main index.html for automatic addition of newly hosted subsites. Okay. This will enable a website owner to upload unlimited mini website. Wait, sorry, it's mini website. So unlimited websites as subfolders with index.html in each, without the need to update the main index.html, as it will be discovering and adding all newly uploaded. This is like magic, by the way. It's like, does that even work? Newly uploaded websites, maybe not. Okay, example. Yeah, so the example is we have index.html, and then underneath it we have slash guide. Okay, and then index.html, and then we also have slash map index.html. Okay, the top level root index, that's confusing as well, isn't it? The top level root index.html, I should say project root, but sort of server root would work. Let's not get confusing now. So the top level index.html will list as cards these two indexes which are hosted below, which are hosted in the subfolders. Let's say subfolders. If we were to upload a third website in a new subfolder, the main index.html will automatically detect and add a new card. Now this is kind of like a thing I've been trying to do for a while, okay? Because it's kind of like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. A website shouldn't be able to just dynamically detect there's a new website. It should need to be changed somehow. But I know that you can do it. So then it becomes a question of what's the best way to do it, and how does he decide to do it? And he might do it a way that I don't know. So sometimes I can like milk a solution that I've never seen before out of this kind of trick here. But I hope you can see it's quite a basic challenge, so it's quite an easy thing to evaluate on. And by doing the deep research, he's going to search like Reddit, Stack Exchange. So if anyone's ever tried to do this, we're going to find out. All right. So that's good. Let's see, where are we here? We've got a Gitty MCP. Okay, we don't need to worry about that. So let's just see how we're getting on with these other things real quick. So, I don't think. Yeah, let's just close this. And I'm gonna want. Let's take this all the way down here. And oh, he wants me some questions. I want him to actually be cooking. Okay, guys, let's just dive back to this real quick. For dynamic discovery, should it scan for any index or like a config JSON file for each? That's quite smart actually, because if it was looking for a config JSON with the index, I can make sure he only picks up indexes that have a valid pair. So if there's an index.html and a config JSON in the same folder, and then obviously I could put in a whole bunch of like rich present stuff if I wanted. So like, oh, look at this. I Yeah, because this will require some stuff, some server stuff. All right, cool. So what are we going to say? We're going to say 1 for dynamic discovery. Should it scan? I'll be like, yes, we can scan for an index.html, which also has a, because I can create the config.json for the site, and I don't need to, you know what I mean? I don't need to update this page for that. That's like part of the other web development. So if I have a template for this config, I can get the AI to generate that as well. Right, there we go. Yes, we can scan for an index.html. It also has config.json, which can define additional metadata to enhance card information. And then 2, what's the preferred approach for the card display? Should it show a preview screenshot? Rely on metadata held in the config.json found at the same location as that index.html. It's kind of like a backflip of words, but you get there. 3, oh boy, 3. For the production build, are there any specific hosting requirements like Netlify or Vercel? Okay, if required, we can run scripts from inside our dedicated Ubuntu 2404 LTS environment, which hosts the server over Apache and virtual hosts. That's right. All right. I think you've got all the information you need now. I just want to make sure he's not slacking on the job. Wait, does he need to? I think this is going to cook though. Let me dive into comprehensive research. Off he goes. All right, I'm happy now. Right, let's get back to what we were doing, which is checking out my repos. So what I've got is Speak to Me and Careless Whisper. So Speak to Me is going to take longer to go through, so hopefully Careless Whisper is going to just work for us. It has an installer and it's .NET now. See, the problem I had before was I kind of picked the wrong platform. It worked, but it was kind of suck. So we made it in Gradio and then in Electron, and the UI sucked and it would do weird stuff with reserving the keys. So now we have, whoa, has that got an icon? I don't know. I haven't made any, see. So we're going to do the installation of Careless Whisper V2. It's just a simple, in fact, let's have a look at this. You can't see it, it's too bloody small. But it says, before you install, blah, 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 this is a push-to-talk transcription system with silent system tray operation, 100% local processing, no cloud services, automatic clipboard integration, configurable hotkeys, requires Windows 10 with .NET 8. Takes up about 300 megabyte of disk space and about the same overhead off of your GPU, if that's what you're going to use to run it. Okay, now we get to find out if it works. I mean, obviously I tested it, but that doesn't really mean anything. I tested it on one machine. In theory, it should be fine. Oh, you can't see it. It's on the other screen. So anyway, my system tray is on the other screen, so you can't see the system app there, but you can just have to trust me. You can click exit, settings, show app. There is like a recording test on there, but I don't think that actually works anymore. Let me bring the app over here. So it works down in the toolbar. But essentially you've got F1 to record. You hold down the button, talk, and then let go of the button like a walkie-talkie. and then it puts the transcribed text into your clipboard. That's what it does. It's a very simple tool. I have it bound to F1 right now. If I go to open settings, you can see you've got general. Apparently there's a dark theme. I don't think any of this stuff works. Start with Windows should work. I think I already have it on my laptop. But yeah, basically it goes here, like enable transcription, save audio files with transcriptions. You can have it auto delete them after 30 days. There is the push to talk button you can change. You can have a modifier key if you want, although is it like any of them? I'm not sure. I've only ever used it with just F1. You've got your microphone, which you can test. So, hello, 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 anybody there? And then it's going to fail to load the whisper model. It's just what I need. Just what I need, just what I want. Let's go further, tiny, and save. And maybe, is this broken? Yeah, it's not downloading the whisper model for some reason. That's fun, because I've got good internet here. Hold up. Stop. And then probably needs something. It's okay, we're back in business once more. Let's open it up. See if I can break it one more time. I'm probably not even gonna. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I think you have to make a longer thing, but it could just be it's got no whisper. Let go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I think you have to make it so it's working, right? So if I Control V up here, well, I need to do it somewhere where you can actually read it. Put it here. There you go. Control V, it works. I think it just took a little time to download that first model, you know? So the idea is obviously if I'm like, look, let's give it a test on. Let's give it a test. Have I got it in there? Yeah, it's there. So I don't know if it works like all the time or if you have to open it up. So how about I make a tweet and I say, now it's going to transcribe my arg. I also need to make it bing when you've done it. So that's annoying. When you press F1, it opens the F1. Okay. It's annoying that when you press the F1, it opens the F1 page. Let me just see if I can open it up. It's annoying that when you press the F1. Yeah, so brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so another flaw that I had was obviously in Gradio, you have to actually have it open all the time. But now you don't. So what I mean by that is if I just shut this down and I'm like, I don't know, in Claude. It's annoying because the binding I currently have it set to, it's going to open up the help page every time I push it. But obviously that's just a binding. You've just got to pick a better binding. But if I was to say here, I might have to try, well, we could test the new binding, couldn't we? But if I said, I want to compare the difference between Asus, Acer, and Advent. Okay. Now, have I got that yet? Yes. That was quick. So I just, do you know what I mean? And then it's like, I don't need to learn. So the thing is, there's a lot of tools that we use that are text, and you could just talk, right? So I wanted a single button, which I could just push the button and go blah, 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 let go, and now I can paste what I said in without having to type it all out. So maybe if I just put the modifier on, so it's control, you know, just put the modifier thing on. So if I say control F1, say, what is the statistical significance of phi when compared to the alpha? That's bullshit. Doesn't mean a thing. No, not yet. No, not yet. Whoa. Whoa. Whoop. Whoop. What? Whoop. 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 How did I just get Welsh? with a bit of Korean. Huh? What? What did we just do? What? Okay, I broke it. That didn't take long. What the heck did I just type? I'm gonna just give it to poor Claude. Thinking about deciphering a mixed language text, deciphering linguistic puzzle. I'm having trouble as it appears you to be speaking Welsh, English, Korean and Chinese all at once. What have I done? The Welsh? Where's the Welsh? Right there. Mynd Frwace. And Fifth. I don't know. Perhaps there's a feature that auto-detects the language. Yeah, maybe that checkbox did more than what we thought it did, guys. I need to do another one. Hang on a minute. I got it. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Translate. Wait a minute. What did I do? What? Append number next. Huh? It gave me a puzzle. Corrupted, randomly generated, or created by mixing multiple languages in a way that it doesn't produce anything. Oh, wait, what? Did we just invent a new language? I need to see if that's just a fluke or not, guys. Ready? So let's go. Control F1. I'm going to be like, tell me how the world started as according to the Abrahamic creation myth. Give it a minute. I need to get the UI up just so I can see. Look, tell me how the world started. Yeah. Now it works fine. What the hell, guys? It started speaking in tongues. If that's not occult and cursed, I don't know, man. So now it's working fine. Ah. I almost wish it was still broken. That would have been more fun. Oh well, let's see what everybody's saying. So, yes, that is Welsh, says Dragon, so it's confirmed. Vernicar says, perhaps there's a feature that auto-detects the language. Zeus is emojis. Drift, you set off my Alexa every bloody night, so Alexa thinks you speak Welsh. Hey man, we're separated by a few hundred meters of fields. Think about Microsoft Power Toys. It can config your F1 key. Well, yeah, there could have been something weird going on there. I don't know what I did, but something happened, and I'm glad you were all here to see it. Like I said, these are the things that you don't really know, you know what I mean? I don't know what happened there. I've got no idea. It just suddenly started speaking 4 languages at once. Okay. But yeah, that means that right now, in the background, and because it's running .NET, it just sits in the system tray. So it's perfect for a, you know, like an appless interface, like... See, this is really here for debug. I don't really need this at all. You know, once the model's downloaded and you know it works, as long as you, because you can do it for not long enough. Like if you just go, hello everyone. It's probably, I bet now it'll do it. Damn thing. See, if you do it quickly, it's like, hello. It might be too short to transcribe. Yeah, no speech detected. See. So you have to kind of leave it open for a couple of seconds at least, but it can actually do quite a lot, which is nice because, like I said, I'm going to get, like I said, I like these little micro keyboards that only have like a couple. You get these mechanical keyboards and they've only got a couple of keys, and I like converting them to Bluetooth. And so I'm thinking, you know, you could sit back in your chair and you could have a job running, which was transcribe everything to MD file or whatever. Everything that I say, just transcribe it all to logs. And then you could have an agent running who's like your ghostwriter. So he's going to take everything you say and just turn it into something that actually makes sense, because you're like a jumbled memory mess, right? because that's what they used to do back in the old days. You know, the people that wrote, you know, autobiographies, they weren't necessarily literate, or maybe they have arthritis, maybe they don't even have any fingers. So you'd have to hire a guy to come in and dictate everything you wrote, take that away and turn it into something, which is what these things are doing. So I really don't see the lack of authenticity at all. As long as what was said communicates into what's written, it's legitimate. Doesn't matter how it was done. You're just using a robot instead of paying a scribe, you know? Anyway. So like I said, Careless Whisper. So this is nice. If I hold Control F1, now I can just say what I want. I don't have to like mistype everything. The only drawback, like I said, I'll show you what the drawback is here. So I'll say we can begin writing up the handoff document named handoff document MD in quotes. It won't work. It won't work because he'll literally be like the handoff document in quotes. We can begin writing up you can begin writing up the handoff document named handoff document MD in quotes. It's close. You know what I mean? It's close. Start dictation with Jose. Oh yeah, the Mexican guy, the mustachio man. Yeah, I can't even change the voices at the moment. We're going to get back to that though. We're going to get back to that very soon. I just wanted to spend a bit of time, give the new thing its shot. So let's just take a look at Careless Whisper. And the reason it's Careless Whisper was a bit of a joke originally. It's because obviously if you you can do a really long thing and mess it up with one word. You know, stammering. Yeah, that's a good one actually. It'll be we can do. Oh, I forgot to press Control. Okay. We can do the thing with what was that thing where we write the document with the MD file and we put in the instructions to do the thing because of writing the code with the LLM. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, right? No, you don't. You probably aren't gonna. But it's like you have to like. When you type things out, you can kind of go over it again and again and again. You don't have to like crystallize that image in your head and then perfectly, flawlessly say it out loud. You know what I mean? We can do the thing with what was that thing where we write the document with the MD file and we put the instructions to do the thing because of writing the code in the LLM. It's essentially correct, but you see what happened there. He's stripping out the ums though, isn't that nice? I must admit, I didn't notice he was doing that. So he's stripping out my ums. Oh, hang on, I got a better idea, right? I'll say, in the land of, there was a town named, and was nearby to the border. I'm just being facetious now, trying to catch him out. I bet it might. Do you reckon it'll? Because we're only using Whisper Tiny. This guy's so confused. Why are you just typing random stuff? Wait, what? In the London, there was a town named, and it was nearby to the border. It did still strip it out. So yeah, be careful naming things, because it'll strip it out. Okay. Like I said, I was being silly there. I don't think you're ever going to use, welcome to my hometown of I mean, I'm sure there is a town called somewhere. They probably don't use, they probably say I bet there's a town called Alright then, that's enough of this stupid application. We're going to go and check out my next one now. Because like I said, this was fun and it works and I could use it all day. I could say, oh crap, I forgot to press shift again. Control. I could say, hey Claude, we can make our next killer app by making vibe-coded multiplayer airplanes. I wonder how quick he is. Hey, vibe-coated airplanes. Nice. vibe coated airplane game. So yeah, vibe coated, dreamy pastel gradients, synthwave visuals. I kind of like what he thinks it is, but that's, you know what I mean? Actually, it was just a misspelling, and that's a good example, actually. Sometimes he'll get rhyming out of... Now, I could improve this because I do have an MCP that's able to, like, replace the what was recorded with something that makes sense. You know, it's able to fix rhyming mistakes. But it's probably overkill for something like this, where it's very simple, you know, it's... You say something, it transcribes it, it's in your copy buffer. But we're going to move on to something with a little bit more teeth, and that would be Speak to Me. It's still very much a work in progress, but it should work. it should work. What's it next? If it's focused on the text field, automatically paste the result right after transcription. So you could have it do auto paste for speed. I like that. That's kind of an interesting, yeah, that would be like a mode. So if we opened up the app, you could have like a checkbox somewhere, maybe in settings, you could have a checkbox, maybe on Whisper, and maybe you could say like, yeah, so it would have to detect if there was an input field in focus, and if there is, auto paste. It's kind of hard to do because of the way Windows has lots of security for trying to stop you from running scripts without the user knowing about it. So there might be like a rule that means you're not allowed, but because technically we would be potentially injecting code to whatever the hell the user was trying to do. So I could see that being like a big bad. But I understand the convenience of what you're trying to do there. It's just, you know, because we're using the .NET API to try and make everything easier. Like all of this stuff is really nice, because before we had to kind of build it all ourselves, but because it's .NET, it's already like built in, because it's just a system tray app now, which is what it was supposed to be. Really, I didn't think to build it in .NET, because obviously there's APIs to the clipboard and all kinds of stuff, so you don't even need to mess around. It's already there. Whereas when I was doing it with Python, we were like trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, it's like making it all on its own, and then that's why there were problems. But anyway, don't sleep on .NET if you want to make a little system tray tool like this. I'm going to close it for now because I don't want it to conflict with the microphone. I don't even know if it will, but I don't want it to conflict with the microphone. Do you know what I mean? The next thing is a little bit more experimental. So Speak to Me V2 is based on an earlier project, again, written in Gradio on Python and then into Electron by Evolution. So this is a complete rebuild. As with most of these projects, I always include in the repo the original prompt, which, as you guys know, I show you on stream every day. We throw a deep research prompt, okay, just like this. And as you can see, look at him go. He's been going for 24 minutes. He's done 426 sources, JavaScript fetch, client-side React, manifest file, listing subdirectories, so dynamic subdirectory discovery, Stack Overflow client-side directory scanning. You get the idea, right? It's doing the thing, okay? And then here's our plan. So then what I do is I just download that as Markdown. Now I'm going to rename it what I wanted it to be and put it in a new VS Code project. So while we're doing what we're doing, it's going to be on the other side. We're going to have two of these guys. Oi, this side. Stupid Windows. No? Yes. Okay, right, cool. And we'll have another one, please. And that one can go there. There. Now we're cooking, right? Now, do you know what? I've been having a little bit of fun lately with this whole thing, right? So you have 4 VS Codes on one desktop, and then you play Keep the Plate Spinning, and you just go round and around. And obviously you'll have it making software, just making all software. And then, you know, the coffee machine breaks because it's getting too much use, you know. It just melts, gives up, help, what's going on? Like, you're throwing away mugs. because you can't wash them. They've had too much coffee through them. They're spent, like blasted cannon, blasted cannonball. Anyway, true story. So let's just open up the next thing, right? Let's just get on with it. Like, jokes aside. Right? Tools. So this one's going to be the dynamic front end. Okay, so it's like a web concept. That's what we're doing on this side. So obviously I'm going to need my thing I just downloaded. Put him here. Now remember, he actually did have a file name, and the file name has some implied stuff. It's the Vite dev team handoff. See, got to get it right. Oh, we only want the one MD though. There's only one. There can only be one MD. So there it is. Get that out of the way. Good. Let's check the thing. Mexican accent, focused on text field. Browser plugin tracks clipboard. If it starts dictation text, then paste in the text field. Oh, a browser plugin. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. See, you can actually just do an application layer on top of the functionality that's coming. It's all a question of implementation. That's what I say. So if we go to a new folder, we're going to have to make another one. And for this one, I've forgotten what the other one's supposed to be already. Oh yeah, we're downloading the Speak to Me. Speak to Me V2. And I'm going to call this one Beta, because it's still a work in progress. Wait, what? What do you mean it doesn't exist? Hold up, I thought I was making a folder name. Hey, we're in. Alright. So we'll git clone that from my repo. Speak to me. There we go. So git clone that, go. And then while it's doing that, let's get this one cooking as well. So, like I said, docs folder, put that in there, close that, open this up. What do we got here? It's changed the API. And it's changed the model again. It keeps on resetting me. I don't know why. Maybe there's like some place where you set the default, but it just seems like he keeps on keeps changing it. Like it'll reset the budget and to 3.7 for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that's because I just used that one the most. Don't know. But whatever the case, we've set it. So just paranoid is going to go back to the wrong one again. But, right. So I'll say we can execute the plan defined inside at handoff. Now, remember, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you'll know that's the same wording I've been using since like last summer, maybe even the summer before that. We've been using execute the plan defined inside. If you look at the programming for a lot of my stuff, it's the same kind of way of talking. You elicitate. You tell him you can do it. Because I figure it's like this. If you ask him if he can do it, all it does is give him a 50-50 chance to explain why he can't do it. Whereas if you just tell him to do it, you just skipped that step, didn't you? Because if he can't do it, you'll find out pretty quickly. So there's no point asking him if he can do it. You're better off just saying, do this. And then if it didn't work, okay. Could just be a bad seed though. I've tried a couple times. But yeah, it's usually all about the wording. So as you can see here, by taking our plan from deep research, we don't need to do anything else. We can execute the plan inside. Now, if I wanted, I could put some flourish on here, like this project will be named this, but it's kind of irrelevant because there's all the information is in there anyway, because of the, trust the process. Okay, So while it's cooking over there, let's have a look and speak to me. Now, one thing I do when I do my Git clones like this is I'll immediately reload the folder root as this folder, because I don't want him making a bunch of stuff in here above it. If I'm working on this, I want to work on this, and then all of the instructions and the README, they'll all be correct. You know, it won't be a folder in a folder. Okay, I'm sure you guys understand that. So what we'll do is we'll go open folder in here, and there we go. Open the actual. So then the root is correct as far as I'm. Yeah. Oh look, there's no what's it called? There's no README on this project yet. Obviously, I never even got that far. But I think it's pretty much just npm install and then npm run dev. So let's see if we manage to get that right. Meanwhile, on the origin side of things, looks like, wow, look at that. That is a meaty plan. Modern React TypeScript application with Vite that automatically discovers subdirectories containing websites and displays them known as cards. Now, if this works, that's great, because I've got like 8,000 mini sites to go on my new site, and I really can't be bothered. I really can't be bothered to edit the page and add them all. For, you know, I would prefer if it can just see them and list them, because they exist. So let's see if it can just dynamically do it. Right. Now this might not work, but I'm, you know, willing to take a spin on it just to see if it works. So yes, phase 1 will be the foundation, setup and configuration. Phase 2 will be the actual discovery system. Now remember what I said was, in the past, when you're doing these big full production ready approach, when you're doing that, you can't start go, oh, it doesn't work. If you do phase 1 and test it, he hasn't even built it yet. So you have to kind of let him go. And what I do is I let him say he's done a good job and completed everything. And then I say proceed to phase 2. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'm going to add it to the docs folder. Yeah. I'm going to call it initial plan. And so if he tries to gaslight me like, oh, I don't even remember what you're talking about, I'll be like, remember your plan, because he can forget it if the job gets big enough, because it slips outside the window. So like I said, it's another little thing, and you can do that as many times as you want throughout this process. It may be though that the plan changes and you will have to delete it or delete elements from it so that he doesn't try to do stuff that you've already told him not to do. So there is an element of maybe you need to edit the plan, but it's just literally editing the file and then saving it again. So he's got some questions for me, so I might need to save these. So how many new sites will be added? And will this be manual upload? Yeah, I'm just going to say one unknown many FTP. Unknown to many. That doesn't even make sense. Unknown many FTP. Right, good. Already branding's not at this time. 3. Do you need integration with Google Analytics? Not at this time. It's like no comment. Will the site require authentication? No, I don't. I try not to do any of that stuff. If there's, do you know how to stop people from logging in? Don't have a login. Don't have a login. If you can't log in, no one can log in. Imagine that. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good policy. If there's no login, you can't log in. Because you don't need to log into stuff that's sensitive. If it doesn't matter, who cares, right? You're gonna, like my radio station, you know, there's obviously a login on that because it is a CMS, right? But you just back it up. It doesn't matter if someone hacks your radio, because you just rebuild it tomorrow and the next day and the next day with a script. So it's like, what are you doing? No one is fixing this. It'll fix itself. Or I'll just take it down, because it's only there for fun. Will any parts of the site require authentication or admin panels? I would say nope. Not at this time. Okay, number 5. It's pretty much nope. Should there be an admin panel? Do you know what I mean? No. Not at this time. Good stuff. Yes. So we have some moderate, some severe. Oh boy. npm run dev. That's not a good sign. Oh. No faith. Yeah, looks all right. Looks all right. Zoom in on it a bit. Bit more. There we go. So this is Speak to Me, or yeah, Speak to Me version 2. It was an experiment to see if we could do it all in Vite with TypeScript rather than what we were using before. It's got a traffic light system at the top there. Obviously, it's going to auto-download everything. The biggest issues I have with it right now is it's stuck on Bella. Even though we've got all the voices in the drop-down, it just doesn't want to change them at the moment. I'm using Kokoro.js, which isn't the same as what we were using before. Also, we were using Whisper.net with the last thing we looked at, and this is using, I think, Whisper.js. So there's like differences, okay? So the implementation was different. So obviously, if you're using a model which has got think tags, this button will not bother sending them to the TTS markdown. So obviously, if it's replying with a bunch of hash, title, star, thing, star, if it's doing a bunch of that, that will strip out all of the non-alpha numerics. And then we have streaming mode, which it currently has a checkbox. But I think that in making the streaming mode, we may have broken the non-streaming mode. Just going to be honest. Yeah. The reason what is streaming mode? So it says streams audio chunks as they generate for real-time playback. Now I'm hoping that this works better on this machine than it did on my laptop, because on my laptop it was like, you wait 3 minutes and he goes, and then we, and then you wait another 3 minutes, went to Paris, and you're like, this isn't good at all. But I think it's because I was running CPU and a bunch of other things. So we're going to see about that. So first thing is, how do you set this up? It's actually really intuitive. You just go to Olama config. Should we run it with Polaris for fun? Yeah, why not? So we have got Polaris running. Here's Polaris talking to him here. I said, tell me a limerick about France, and Polaris said, she's from France, so melty and bright. In every bite, it melts just right. With artichokes and baguettes wide, this nation's flavours are quite divine. Is wide supposed to rhyme with divine or right? Divine? Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to say bye over there so that we can say hello over here. So if I say test connection, it should show up. It might take a little bit longer. Where's the thing? 9:15. Is that it? Man, just a little look. I'm looking at the logs for Olama. I'm sat there like, ugh. Unable to connect to server. Started server. That one. What's it doing? 9:29. Gin. 7:31. I don't see it doing anything. restart it maybe. It's there. Huh. Alright, so we're having fun with Olama for some reason. Give me a minute. So it says Llama Runner. These logs are fucking useless. Absolutely useless. This thing will have finished building the app by the time I've got this damn thing working. Go on then, off you go. He's going to get on and do that on the side, see. So this is like what I liked about Vitae anyways. It all does this, it's got its own kind of, I don't know what to call it, like a manager. I'm not familiar with it. I'd only started using it a couple of days ago. Okay, I'd never heard of it, right? It was just suggested in one of the deep research notes. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, what it's doing is it's giving me this manager. So when we do updates, when we do code changes, it just changes those files. It doesn't need to be restarted necessarily. And a lot of the other frameworks that we use, what will happen is he'll be like, change a bunch of stuff and then just try to start the server. And he'll just make infinite new ports. And you'll find out you've got like 12 nodes running with all different versions where he changed one thing and then started a new one, because he never shuts the original server down. And then the problem is he'll start testing the original port number, and of course his changes are on like port 5000 and he's on like port 4000. So it's an exaggeration, right? But in the numbers. But the point I'm trying to make is this kind of prevents that to a degree. I have seen him spawn a 4097, but it was so much rarer to happen. Yeah, because he kind of he like knows he has to restart the server, but he doesn't close the old one. He just starts a new one. It happens a lot. Another thing to watch out for. But yeah, this is supposed to be working. So let me just terminate it and then start it up again. Right, so let's do this properly this time. So we'll put Tiny. Tiny's ready. Go Olama. I'm just going to get one that's small. So we'll use the DeepSeek R1 1BQ8. That one. DeepSeek R1 1.5 billion Quen distilled Q8. Okay, so there it is. Test connection. There we go, it is, it's connected. I didn't need to test it. It's already connected. Okay. Then we go to the end. Got everything on. So I'm going to go preview. We can only use that voice at the moment. It's still in development, guys. But it's like, the joke is, I've got all the voices. It's not like I have to add anything. It's just the way it's written. I think he just gets confused with the way stuff's written sometimes. Oh, God. Whoa! Okay, so I that's my fault. I clicked off. Can we hear what it says?
You can use this to test how your responses will sound.
What? Say again.
Hello, this is a preview of the selected voice. You can use this to test.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Alright, so that means it's working. I don't know why, for some reason, there's a red light here. I think it's because of the order. I think if you do Olama, then speech, it'll show green. Don't worry, it's another bug I'm aware of. Okay, so many bugs. You want to hear I hate space in 10 voices in 10 languages? Well, I mean, you know, this is what we could do, right? So let's give it a go. I'm going to say, oh yeah, I recommend stopping any, you know, if you're watching YouTube or anything like that, turn that off, because Windows will like do stuff where it will reserve the microphone and all this, and it won't let you do it. You know what I mean? It'll record nothing and give errors. But if you are actually genuinely just doing this right now, it's going to be fine. So also, this transcript doesn't work anymore. It's so funny. But anyway, this is accurate. That is accurate. Wait, no, it's not. It's based on a hard value of 4 GB. but the usage is correct. But that is just subtracted from 4096. Yeah, that's all that. Yeah. It doesn't really know how much GPU I have. Okay, so what shall we ask him? Oh, yeah. Okay. What is the significance of the architectural aesthetics of inner city Paris? That's a terrible prompt. Okay. And then you wait. And it probably crashes. And it probably takes forever. I'm hoping it's quicker on this machine, because it was so slow. It was crushingly slow. See, before, it was really slow, and then it would truncate the answer, because, you know, there is a limit to how much Kokoro can say. So what it does is this streaming thing is it's breaking everything into chunks. In fact, I think we've broken the website. But oh wait, okay. Come on, update. What's going on here? So anyway, I'm trying to look at the logs here, right? It's generating the architectural aesthetics of Paris, and it's in a... So it's done it. Non-streaming fallback mode. Ah, the streaming failed. See, stream speech, Kokoro, TypeScript, line 472. God damn. Oh well. Like I said, it will work, but what will happen is it'll have to do the whole answer as one chunk, and I know that doesn't really work. So, can we get our web page back, please? Oh yeah, there's also individual stuff. So like, say you didn't want to save your input audio. Do you know what I mean? Or yeah, so there was a bunch of different things here as well, which is kind of nice for a web tool anyway. So what, are we going to get nothing now? Yup. Are we going to get nothing? Should we go again? Let's go again. Stupid. It just crashed. Right, let's kill that and that. Right, let's try it again. So, try a different model. The one I use is the Quen 3. So we've got that. It's huge though. See, I like using the little ones because they're just quick to load, but might be glitched out. You know, we used that one just now. We'll go with the Quen. Wait for it to load. 8.2 gigabytes. It might take a minute, see. Yeah. These sorts of experiments are nice because you get to actually learn how to put this stuff together from scratch, and that gives you the insight when you need to put something together for a tool that you need. So yeah, response to speech is still down. Put the tiny on there. We're in GPU debt. Okay. So I'll say what was the significance of the release of HTML5? It's an easy one, surely. It's probably crashed again. God damn it, these tools, man. Well, I doubt that you're going to be awake by the time I finished. My friend, he's asking me to DM him after the stream in the chat. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be around, mate. But by all means, I got a bunch of stuff I'm working on. So, yeah. That's why this isn't finished. This would have been fixed if I'd had more time, but I don't. You know, you gotta the work comes first, as they say. But it is nice to have this little segment every day to go, hey, look at everything that's broken, look at everything that's fixed, isn't that cool? He needs approval to create Vite at latest Origin AI website. Let's go. Yeah, the idea is that this thing isn't supposed to be like an in-focus website. It's actually supposed to be like a small... So I bet if I move this, it'll break. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's frozen. So I should be able to have it like small in the corner. Like, do you know what I mean? That was the idea. So it's like a little thing that you just kind of have, and you can pull it up and ask it questions, and then carry on doing what you're doing. And then in the background, it's just going to start saying, oh, here's the answer. So it's like towards cheap Jarvis, I guess. But it's not, because it has the intelligence and the functions, but it's just this whole... It's really funny. I reckon they fake a lot of stuff, because when I put this stuff together, they're either faking it, or they're using like 8 H200s to run it, which is just overkill. For like a chatbot. What, a chatbot? Here you go, here's the chatbot. You know, it's like, it's got like a full human face, and it like reacts to you, and it talks with emotion and everything. How much does that cost per minute? Oh, it's about $10,000 a minute. Yeah, we just show this stuff so that open source burns all of their intelligence on trying to make stuff like this work, when we know it's just ridiculously compute intensive. To do it real time, I mean. Because that's the thing, it's easy to stage, it's hard to do real time live. This has just crashed. It will work, by the way. If I don't interrupt it, eventually we will get the answer spoken in a nice voice, but it takes forever. Absolutely forever. I think the next version will be a pure API version, just so I can like go, look, see, it works, but you have to put an API, so it's all cloud stuff. And if you do it with local for free, you're going to be sat there waiting for a 5-word answer for about 10 minutes. Oh, look, see, it just woke up. Oh, here we go. Right. Have we got volume? Yeah, we have. Right, here we go. Think. Oh, no. It didn't strip the think tag out. I'm sure I fixed that, so that means that bug's back. Yeah, there was a bug where he wasn't doing the filtering until he'd done the TTS. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, look, mate, the whole point of filtering the TTS input is that you don't do TTS until you filter out half of him going, let me just think about that. I should think about this. I should think about that. Maybe the user means this. And I'm like, I don't need to hear your insane ramblings. I need to hear your answer. And that's why think filtering was built in. So clearly it doesn't look like that's working. And like I said, what it does is it goes think. And it's right, it thinks, what, chunk 103? What? My God, man. How big was the answer? Chunk 100, I've never seen one. The queue only has 10. There's only 10 spaces in the queue. Wait, Drift's clones wanted to speak at 2 a.m. I'm convinced Drift is 100% not biological. Listen, mate, I cannot confirm nor deny said allegations, because I don't know which clone you were talking to. Some of them are 100% not biological. Its influence continues to shape the future of the internet. So yeah, here we have npm create v blah 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 blah. I'm going to say yes, I want to create it, and then it's going to say warning, bad engine. That's not good. Now it says go into the thing. Oh, he's going to do it. Go into the thing and do the thing. Yep, he's doing the thing. Cool. Meanwhile, this is chunking. You see what I mean, though? How it's suspiciously slow. Like, how is it really that slow? Oh. And also, the think tags. Look, we've got silent thinking. But it's not. And it looks like it's crashed again.
The release of HTML5 in 2008 with the final standard finalized in 2014, marked a transformative milestone in web development, fundamentally reshaping how websites are built, experienced, and interacted with.
Cool.
Here's a breakdown of its significance.
Oh, it did strip the
Modernized
thing.
web structure and semantic
It did strip the thing out.
HTML5 introduced elements like header, nav, article, section, and footer to better structure content, improving SEO.
Is that it? Wait, what do you mean improving SEO? Uh-oh. Are we done? Can I get control? I have control. So, wait, and it's gone again. Is it still working on the program? The thing. See, why have I only got 30 seconds? Yeah, something ain't right. I feel like he's still working on it. Was that just part one? I think that might have been just chunk one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Right, we can turn that down because people are pinging me already. As soon as I turn my volume up, it's blah, 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 blah. Yes. Do the things. So, yeah, Speak to Me V2, work in progress. I'm not going to fix anything here because otherwise I'd be creating a dev fork here, which I'd have to sync with the main project, and it's just a bloody nightmare. So I just wanted to show you exactly where this project was at. And it's actually in pretty nice shape. I really like the Vite React TypeScript style. It's very cool. You get these lovely responsive type websites when they're not crashed because of my ghost code. All right, but the point I'm trying to make is that, like, you know, if you want to put something together, it's actually super nice. It's been a joy to work with. Vite TypeScript based on Node. You can get it all on NPM. Like, because I've been thinking about it, it's like a lot of people have been adapting Python into packages which are then accessible through JavaScript and all this sort of stuff. There's like ways around the thing if it's not there. And I thought, well, if we're gonna do React, Tailwind, freaking all that, we're gonna do all that nonsense. You may as well look for stuff which is like built in. And often when I build the MCPs, they're either JavaScript or TypeScript. And I think you just need to know what you're talking about so that when you instruct the LLM, you can be more effective, right? So, like, I'm not going to lie, I'm not an expert when it comes to TypeScript, okay? I kind of never learned it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, TypeScript, right? My only exposure to TypeScript is developing with AI. And like I said, it's been great. Like, when things work, they work amazingly. When they don't work, it's a bit confusing, but there's a learning curve for everything, right? But, you know, it was simple to put together this bridge where we can just pick any model we want. We can pick, we should be able to pick any voice we want when by the time we get there. And then just talking to the model. So, you know, what I'm doing is I'm essentially just going through old projects, which maybe, you know, maybe they were fine then. Like, if I go back to, like, anything in March, right? If I go back to anything in March, it's a prime candidate for a revival. So look, LTM Klein, remember? That was March 31st. That was the long-term memory Klein V2. That was already a redo. LTM SQL Lite, Auto Node, Hugging Face Downloader, that's CLI. So, like, command line stuff converts really well, you know? So this is a CLI version of the Gradio app. So it's just the core functionality. Same with Auto Slideshow. That's another one. You could just immediately turn that into a Vite React based app for doing slideshows, you know. It's actually kind of funny when you're going to go through, like, oh, there's all this stuff, like Jaguar and LTXV. That's a serverless modal API for video generation and image generation, right? Then this one is just diffusers. So, you know, I don't even know what that looks like. What does that even look like? But yeah, Cockero TTS. Right, there's all these things, and it's sort of like, look, there you go, Cockero TTS Gradio. Yeah, so it's like going back and looking at the old stuff and then remixing it into the new, and then it ends up looking like a modern app. It's crazy. We have digital clones and Dolly the Sheep style clones as well. No comment. Oh wait, isn't denial a confirmation? Right, yeah, no we don't. We don't have any of those things. isn't denial a confirmation? Isn't that how it works? Let's shut this down then, because wait.
Finalized in 2014, marked a transformative milestone.
It's still working. It's still working.
Fundamentally reshaping how websites are built, experienced, and interacted with. Modernized web structure and semantic elements.
Semantic. So yeah, basically this thing is actually still working on it. So it's written an entire article and it's doing all the voice with this. So the tool works. It could be better. It's a bit slow, but it does batch out an extremely long response into many Cockero files. And these are all getting saved somewhere. I mean, I think it's doing 30-second sections as WAV files, and it should auto-download. So if you just leave this open, you can just walk away and come back to a whole bunch of them. My plan is actually not to do this as a web page, but to repurpose it into an app so that it has, like, you know, folders, and it just saves all of the files into a folder structure in the app, and then that way, you know what I mean, because it's a bit clunky having to like approve the download and stuff. It's a bit clunky, so I'm developing it as a website, and then when the website's all working, I'm just going to be like, turn this into a desktop app, right? Because you can do that. You can just say build this as an app. But it even knows that when it's a browser, it can't do certain things, like it can't save all the logs. Like, it's got the settings, but it knows, oh, I'm in a browser, I can't do that really, you know, because it has to get approval. What I don't like is the fact that there's no feedback to be like, oh, I'm actually still working, because if I didn't know better, I'd say this was broken. I'd be like, oh, it's not actually doing anything right now, kill it. But if you just go and do something else, you come back and look, it just did another one here.
In 2008, with the final standard finalized in 2014,
it's just
marked a transformative milestone in web development.
So the joke is, right, it looks broken, but it's actually doing some crazy stuff, because it's doing local model text-to-speech answers, and then you just spoke the question into it. And it can, you know what I mean? Say you're making AI, say you're doing AI, what you call it? You know, like a YouTube video on a subject, and you have like an AI voice doing sections of your video, right? Presentation. This does all of that. This just automates all of that. But yeah, and like I said, the nice thing is, it's got the Olama thing, so it's possible to just use whatever model you want. You're not like, because I don't like being, I think you've probably noticed by now, I don't really like being tied into any one particular thing. I think that the data is sovereign, and we can take, you know what I mean? We shouldn't be not able to get our data. We should not be, you know what I mean? Say you have a memory feature, I should be able to get those memories, and those memories should be in some kind of format that can actually be usable, you know? But that's just me. I think we're going to get there, but there's no standards right now. So everyone's just kind of trying to make it work. You know, we're not really thinking about compatibility or universal stuff, you know. So how many chunks are there? $114 phonemes. Mobile first development. I think it's still running. Yeah, it is. It's still running. Look. So, I wonder if it's actually... Is it even using GPU? It probably is. Now, before you ask, could I have just done this in Comfy? The answer is yes. There are Ollama nodes. I could have just typed the thing I said, and there I actually put out Kokoro TTS nodes for Comfy. So, yeah. And it probably would have been quicker as well, to be fair. But it wouldn't have been an app that I built, and it wouldn't have been standalone. You know what I mean? It would be built on somebody else's thing, and therefore useless without that thing. This is standalone. It doesn't need anything else. You know, like obviously you need Ollama, but then that's the whole point. You know, you can't play golf without a golf club. So there's a minimum amount of things we need. So what are we on? We're on chunk 23. So he's just reeling off this thing here. So yeah, really good if you want to do those video essays. Say you wanted to have like multiple AI characters helping you to do your essay. Maybe they're just there to explain technicals, so you can do the commentary part of it. You know, you could set off Bella to do the technical analysis and breakdown, and then you can just come in and offer your viewpoint. I think that'd be quite an interesting, like, use case. Because I don't really think about it. I don't really want to be sat there generating a bunch of TTS to design. I want it to have its own angle, which is kind of like reliable to a certain extent. So then that whole section of the production is taken care of. That's automation. To put it in community terms around here, this is now my narrator or technical commentator, you know, automation. So I can just come in here and say, we're going to be doing an essay on something, and send it to the model I want to send it to with the system prompt I want it to use, and then I can just go away, because it will automated use that voice. And in the future we'll be able to use our Mexican mustachio gentleman, but until then we're stuck with Bella. The thing is that if you look in the logs, it shows you a list of all the names, so we are doing it right. I think maybe there's just like, it's probably Snake Case again, because the thing is, the way that the voices are named, it's like AF_Bella with a capital B. So think about what we were talking about earlier with Snake Case and Snail Case. So AF_Bella, if there's no capitalization, that's Snake Case. You see what I'm trying to say? But what if it actually expected a capitalization for the first name Bella? So then it's like somewhere between Camel Case and Snake Case, and herein could lie the problem. I don't know if that's what it is. Like, when I did it with my model, well, not my model, but when I did it with my nodes, my implementation under Gradio, you had to include the language type to be able to load the other languages. But there is nothing in the code that, you know what I mean, allows for that. So, and when I read all of the notes from the Kokoro JS, it doesn't seem like any of them figured out that the voices are just NumPy tables. So nobody's figured out how to save voices, load voices. There's like pages and pages and pages. People trying, can we fine tune it? Can we load our own, you know? But no one had figured out that, because like we figured it out, because the LLM could tell us. We asked. And sometimes I wonder if some people don't ask, so that's why they don't know. It's not that they're unable to do it, they just never asked the question. And this is kind of going back to Douglas Adams again, isn't it? You know, if I told you the answer, would you understand the question? It's not. Because if the AI becomes truly higher IQ, if the AI becomes such a high IQ that it can beat a human, we won't understand the answer to the question. So not only will we not we'll get the answer, sorry, we won't understand our question. That's the point. Which is kind of a crazy thing to think about, I think. Hey, is this thing finished now? Nope, it's still cooking. It's still going on about HTML5, guys. Oh my god. Website npm install. Let me install dev dependencies. Let's see if we can get this website done before the end of the show. This is really good. And look, and he's just been downloading. Look. So that's 30, so we've got 2 minutes. Wait a minute. Yeah, like I said, this is why I need it to be an app, not a website. But the apps use websites as their front end, so it's kind of like there's no difference anymore, if you ask me. And obviously, not everything is that way, but the way that we're developing here is. So, if I was to turn this into a Windows app, it's just going to like port the HTML. If you look in the code, it'll just be, oh wow, look at this. So I wonder how he reads all that out when it's like stripped all of the... So there's a load of really cool stuff going on here, like stripping out the thinking, stripping out the markdown so it doesn't read out *** SEO ***. And then the streaming mode as well, so that it actually can do TTS on a very, very long... Like it could be a half-hour long dissertation. It's still gonna do TTS on the whole thing. My only issue is it's so slow. Because I could well, I don't know. I feel like it should be faster, but I can never really tell. So, yeah, so I think that's what's going to end up happening. This is going to end up going standalone. Even if it's like a full rewrite. Because I do like how this works, and also I would like to do like a conversation chain so that when you do a speech to prompt, it's not, you know, it could be an active conversation which is just continuing like a traditional chat, not like, because right now it's basically like you set it as you ask it thing, it thinks about it, and then it just vomits out a long answer which takes forever. I was hoping it was going to be much faster than this, guys. I was really hoping it was going to be much faster than this, because to be honest, it is really good though. The quality of the voice is really nice, but it's not without problems, you know. So like, for example, when you take away all of the markup, it will go canvas and SVG, canvas enable dynamic interactive graphics, games data visualizations directly in the browser. So it's sort of like, it doesn't really read it out very well. Yeah. So, you know, it's going to trip up on this sort of stuff. But the way I get around that is I take the full thing and I'll just chop out the worst bits, and then I'll use those bits for what they're supposed to be. Consistent second voice on the show. That's all it's supposed to be. You know, it's not supposed to be like Hollywood quality. It's just supposed to be something that regular viewers can become familiar with, and then it doesn't seem out of place over time. So it doesn't need to be like, do you know what I mean? You don't want it to be so good that you're upstaging yourself with your stupid AI actor. Right. I fixed it, he says. That's never a good sign when he says he fixed it and you haven't actually run it once. Oh, did we just get another download? No? See, I don't see any more downloads, so I'm suspicious that... Received chunk 33. Conclusion. Chunk 33? I don't have 33 bits. And that makes me think, well, I don't know. Chunk 33, chunk 32, chunk 31. So that means there were, oh man, so that means there was actually 31 chunks and I only got, you see what I mean? I only got 4 of them. So we've, and this is why I have it all logged. But as I was saying, when you're doing it with a website, you have to approve the downloads for security. Like you can say auto download See, continue allowing automatic downloads, but I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not seeing them, so it's not reliable. Yeah, when I look, all I've got is that. That's all I've got. What about the project directory? I don't think it's going to have it there. Yeah, there's no outputs here. So I don't think he's actually got permission to save those files. Yeah. Yeah, he's got no ability to actually save it. Okay. What's this? Oh my goodness me. Right, let's just go full screen on this one. Let me create the directories and implement the core system. Uh-oh. You gotta do it one at a time. Or use semicolons. It's not gonna... Ooh, wait. Do you know what? That blows my mind. Every now and then he'll do it and it'll work. That worked. So when he did cd origin and make dir -p and then put all of the folders, you know, separated by spaces, that didn't work, right? That didn't work. But when he did an and to join individual make dir statements, see, make dir folder and make dir folder and that works. That works. See, the thing is, I've learned a lot from watching the AI do it. I've been like watching the AI do it going, that ain't gonna work, and then it worked, and I'm like, so, you know what I mean? You actually, it's funny. It's so funny. People said that you were gonna like get lazy, but I actually watch it work and I learn his tricks. So it's like, where am I ever gonna get that in? You're never gonna get that anywhere else. Like, where else can you just watch AI do clever stuff with code? Oh, that's right. By working with AI code, that's the only time. You know? Literally the only time. If it was a human, he'd be doing like a show-off thing, and it would just be like watching magic as well. So you can't learn anything. Now, I appreciate you can't always see everything it does. You know, I'm only seeing like half the line, but it's this bit here more than the actual code itself. But you can catch him making typos and stuff every now and then. So what do we got here? Snail. No. Camel. Camel case. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no! What have you done? You fool. What has he done? He's broken it. What's the betting? Do you reckon he can fix it? I think he can fix it. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Wait a minute. That just sunk in on me, Dragon. Are you saying one of my... Wait, did you get a DM at 2 a.m. today? That wasn't me, dude. I need to get those robots under control. 2 a.m. Like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I have been experimenting with a clone that mimics how I talk, but he shouldn't be able to send DMs. He's only able to send messages in the channel that we own. So... just say it was me. Just say it was me. Yeah, it was me. It was me. It's less spooky to just say it was me. You know? I mean, it was in spirit. In spirit. It was always me. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because the clone is technically orchestrated by me, so technically it's still me. It's a little bit like an answer machine. Think about it like I left a message for you on your answer machine. So I left a message for you. Yes, I gave you the message. Yes, I left you the message. So we already do it, you know. We refer to machines in a similar way. Send it to me. I'll read it when I get home. What does me mean? Send it to me. It means your email address, which means it's on your computer, which means I'll read my computer when I get home. It proves I'm either a robot cyborg in real life and do not sleep, or your clones play in Discord when you're asleep. I think it's probably a little bit of both. They say that truth is stranger than fiction, right? It's probably just a combination of no sleeping and allowing the AI's full root access on my servers. And then give full auto mode, full auto root server access. Oh yeah, you can create as many agents as you need. You don't have it, and you don't have a job. Go. You just watch it arrange a micro society. Oh no, he's super cooked with his dependencies. I hope you're reading the logs here, because they're like, what are you doing? There's no server. Okay. If you check the logs, you can see the server cannot be started because the installation failed. This guy gets ahead of himself, man. You know, you're like, oh, make website, and he's like, I tested the website and it works great. Look at it, error, nothing works. He's like, oh, I'm just going to launch the website, and you can't use the website if the install failed, my guy. He'll get there, though. He will get there. It's actually a wonder. It's a wonder to see it happen. Just got to trust the process. It's like, it used to be that you'd have to copy every little thing in there that was wrong, and now it's kind of more like, maybe I'll have to copy that bit in there, like this bit here, maybe. But he might just figure it out on his own, because he should be able to just read that. See this link here? He can't read that because it's outside of the current working directory. But if I gave him that and said, read this, he'll ask for permission and he'll go read it. But the problem with these sorts of logs is often they're like super long, and you just choke out your the window, and then you've got nothing. Because he can max out and just stop working. If you fill up the context window, he'll be like, I can't. I'm sorry, Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good. Why are you trying to host it? I need to give him a little slap. Okay, we can confirm the npm install is working by resolving errors shown in the logs. We should not proceed to npm run dev until this has been confirmed. Idiot. It's like you can't start the car if it's still in pieces on the floor, mate. You should know better than that. Check the current package JSON. Run npm with verbose. Resolve font awesome tailwind. See, I think he's got a basic issue with tailwind. It might just be need to get rid of tailwind. Because some things can't use tailwind. And it's become a bit like, you know how there was that one artist that was in all the image prompts for about a year because everyone thought it was going to make better images. And then they slowly figured out that actually it didn't make any difference, so they stopped doing it. And then I think he even sued. But whatever, that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is Tailwind CSS is something everybody's putting in the prompts right now. And there are actually systems which they're incompatible with. So, yeah, it's a great thing to put in, but no, not always. And I can't remember what the rule is off the top of my head. Might even be, I don't think is it React? It can't be React. React Tailwind, maybe. I don't know. I swear I did it a minute other project. Hey, look, we got some problems. We got some problems. Why have you not installed these things? Look at all this stuff. It's not good. It's required. You need to install that stuff. According to this, he hasn't even installed it. Yeah. Yeah. Type check. Okay. Are you actually fixing anything? Look. I can see this. Now let me try. You didn't change anything. It's like I have to spell it out to him. If you don't actually change anything, nothing will... See, all he's done is read stuff. Right. Okay. If you do not change the code and errors are displaying in the console, we cannot move on. What an idiot. He was going to do it again. You know, he was like, oh. I'm just going to see if things are installed. We know they're not installed. We know the first report said. This is why sometimes I think he can't actually see the answers. You see what I mean? Like he doesn't really know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy some stuff. 1, enter. Enter. You can't enter. Fine. Take it one at a time. And then we'll do this one next. There we go. You wanted to do it the hard way. This guy. Yes. Okay, and one more time. Now, I don't normally load him up with 3 errors like that, but you know what? He's made a right pig's ears out of this. Here we go. 3 critical issues. Crypto hash is not a function. We should get that as a t-shirt. Version incompatibility, corrupted node modules. Look at that. Oh yeah, we broke it back. We broke it good. So 7 missing packages, including Tailwind. TypeScript reference conflict. Node.js version compatibility. Vite is blocking everything. Crypto hash function requires Node.js, but it's not available because Node is too old for Vite 7. Mate, I love it. It's getting itself into a right tizzy. I got Node 18. I bet it's going to say you need Node 22 or something. And then we're toast. Vite package Tailwind Vite doesn't exist. Remove it. And yeah, like I said, this is the sort of stuff that used to take weeks, resolving conflicts between various package versions and trying to find the most optimal stack to get everything that we need into the app. It's funny. And so it's just going to chop and change and search and destroy, and eventually we'll end up with a manifest that will, in theory, work. Which is nice. There you go. Like I said, I don't develop any other way anymore. It's kind of like practical versus digital. Again. Here we go again. It'd be nice to see something, but I'm not going to hold my breath. He's got 3 minutes. I'm actually going to remember to take the mouse home tonight, because my God. Weird not using your normal mouse. First world problems. How are we looking? He's been cooking for a while. It must have been good. Let me fix the TypeScript configuration issue. Okay. You did your first Node.js today. Utterly clueless what Polaris did, but you have Node 22. Nice, nice. Yeah, see, that's one of the things. I had to have Node 22 to run Claude Code on my server, see? Because I really think, I've just got a gut feeling that putting the LLM on the server is what we need to do. I just run the local model on the server. Now obviously Claude Code gives us a way to do that, but with API credits and Sonnet4, which is like, you know, the cutting edge, but with the same concept, yeah? But I think you have to pay for that, right? So I think really what it is you want to have like a Qwen 3 or something like that running on the server. You can't even do it yet, really, but you can get the behavior using things like Claude Code server side. What? He doesn't understand /q. Okay. Looks like it's deleting stuff. Delete that as well, yeah. It's still cleaning up its mistakes. The cover up. Here we go. Moment of truth. Let's see if he's fixed it, or if we've just got new problems to solve. If it's that, then I'm there. Parachute time. Oh my God, that's a lot of warnings. Oh my God, isn't that like everything? Unsupported engine. Huh? Wait. Did it work though? Can't tell. I mean, I imagine if it spits out loads of errors, that's bad. I mean, I imagine. Oh! Guys, we built a white screen. And it only cost us $2.95. Oh, wait. Okay, it's not white. It's not a white screen. Thing is, there's no websites. There's no subsites. You see what I mean? This website is designed to Do you know what? I think this will actually work now. Welcome to Oregano AI. Oregano AI. Where we're selling you herbs for your pizzas. Oh no, what have I done? There we go, I can hear you again. Something went wrong. I can tell you what went wrong. There's no website for it to discover. Let's just get one. I should have one knocking about somewhere. Can you hear? There's a website. I knew I had one somewhere. So yeah, back in the clientage, what we've got. Yeah, oregano. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the website in there. So in here, we'll make a sub website which has an index folder in it. Yeah. If I can find the damn thing. There we go, right. So we'll call it Vector3 Tut. Can I get a folder Vector3 Tut inside and paste? No, can't paste. Alright, we'll click and drag. Like it's 1994. All right. Or is it 96? I think it's probably 96. Somewhere around there. All right. Now we've got a thing. Where's the thing? A refresh. Try again. No. How about stop and start again. What? Hang on. Can't find it because it doesn't exist. Classic. Still nothing. I thought maybe if I actually put a website there, that would be a little bit more fair, you know what I mean? But it didn't work. So this is the point where I actually get to do a prompt for the first time, because it's just been building the project up to now. So what I do is kill all the files so they don't get added into the prompt, because they will be if you have them open. Close it all down, and I put it in plan because I don't want it to do the browser use thing. I'm going to go to the website, go to Vector3 Tut, open just the index and say, to test this design, we have added a website, added a new website to the app/tut Vector3 Tut folder, which I have to actually find in this list. Oh god. So annoying. The way that they do this, that is just annoying. So yeah, I'm trying to get that folder. You won't find it. See, it's only showing me the new website where the index where the index, which should be discovered. I'll just basically reword it so that I can do what it'll let me do. Which should be discovered is located here. Currently cannot see in the main as a con. Oh, I know why. I never made the config.json, did I? I got to make a config.json. Okay, as a card, right? Because there is no config.json for the new site. We can create the config.json and test the main page again to check for discovery of the newly added website. I'm going to say sub-site because I need to start using terms. The idea is they're all fully, they're all independent, self-contained websites for various things. It might be how to use tools. It might be a crash course on a new model. It might be, an introduction to some other piece of software I've given away. Whatever, right? Whatever it is, it needs to automatically list itself on the front page. There's 170 of these damn things, and we're only 6 months in. So it's got to be dynamic and automatic, otherwise there's no point. I may as well just go and scroll through my GitHub. It's somewhere on page 8, and this is the issue I have, right? I need to spotlight the big projects, but I don't want to, I'm not going to stop putting out experiments. So that means that the big things are always going to get buried with other stuff. So like I said, this is the whole goal. So what's he saying then? Oh, there's more problems. The Vector 3 tut is located in Oregon Eye website, but dynamic discovery looks for sites in the public sites directory. Move the... Hold up. What, mate? What have you done now? Hang on. Here's the folder that we're talking about. That's the website. No, it's not. No, it's not. Where's the... Okay. Dynamic front end. Website. Public sites. Portfolio showcase. Index. Simple React app. Oh, well, it didn't show that either. SVG. Well, now that's weird. I didn't expect it to do that. So he's actually gone ahead and made me like a special place. All right. Enhanced HTML metadata. No config JSON needed. System extracts metadata directly from meta tags, so we don't need a config JSON. Okay, so he improved it. I told him to use a config JSON, but he's just decided to use meta tags. That's okay. Run manifest generation, verify site appears as yeah. All right, let's go. I just want to, do you know what I mean? I'm just looking for a signal that this thing has worked. We're running in on the end of the show, so it's going to be good timing if it does work. But go. Huh? Wait. What? Error. Okay, it worked. That time it worked because he did it with PowerShell commands. I do find it interesting that he's better at PowerShell than he is at, normal commands. Because PowerShell is a bit of a niche for like engineers and stuff. Not many people know how to write PowerShell. Like, I have to look it up, I only know what I know. Now I need to enhance metadata to make it properly discoverable. I'll add the essential meta tags. Good. good. Let's test if it's good. No, that's a build script. Oregonai. Oh no, what's happened? No such thing. There's no such thing. What are you doing? Let me check my script. The script I just made up doesn't work. Because the folder it's talking about doesn't exist yet. Let me make that. But if the folder it was made in doesn't exist, surely the file inside of it doesn't exist either. Yes. Yes. Okay, yes, it did. It worked. It generated a manifest for all 3 sites. So we've actually got a code that will generate manifests. I think when they say that, they mean it's going to put a bunch of meta stuff in. Wait a minute. Master the world's most advanced hybrid vector graph AI memory. Bloody hell, man. I got a hype man working for me. I never said that. That's not canon, okay? I never said that. I never said it was the world's most advanced hybrid vector graph. Okay? I mean, I can't deny that it is, but I'm assuming it's not. Comprehensive tutorials. The rest of it's correct, but the AI loves to get the swag, you know? He's like, oh, I'm just going to make outrageous claims. I'm just going to make outrageous claims. And then when people say, hey, where's the backup for this claim? You just go, oh, the AI wrote all that. We'll change it. Okay, run the command. Copy the manifest to the public directory. Dist sites manifest JSON public. But wait a minute. If there's a sites manifest, that means I have to update it, doesn't it? That means it's not actually dynamic or automatic. It means I have to do a manifest. Think about, like, okay, so I have a script that can generate it for me, but I still do have to actually update a manifest. Is it really what we asked for? Ooh. Can't click on it. Okay, so, but that's correct. Ooh, this could be good. But the link, I don't know what the hell. I guess the link doesn't actually work, right? Oh, come on, that's one. Okay, this is like playing Mortal Kombat when you're 12. Just one more, just one more, just one more. Just one more, just one more, just one more. Plan. Okay. This is now working correctly. Air quotes. This is now working correctly. We can now make sure that the links. Oh, that clicking on the cards. Clicking on the cards takes us to the correct index.html, because currently the links are not working when we click on there. I know it's like tell you the answer. I will when I tell you the answer which I told you. Prompt style. What is that, like meth head Yoda style prompting, where you say everything backwards but 3 times? Great news, card discovery is working. I can see the issue with clicking. Looking at it, blank. So yeah, it was because it was a placeholder link. It wasn't not working, it just didn't know, you know. Oh, wait. Yeah. The correct URL should be either that or that. We don't, the most reliable is to use the HTML file. Because, because you don't need the HTML file, but it's going to be that. It's going to be that. It's going to be an HTML, in index.html at the root of the subsite. That's what it's going to be. So we have a script that's going to put the meta tags into. So whenever I make a new website, I get that script, run it, it's going to tag it, and then when the front page and then the manifest gets updated, and then that's how the front page has the card for every subsite. It's not as good as I wanted it to be, but that's pretty good. That is rated PG for pretty good. It's still not working. Why is it like going nuts as well when we click on it? I don't think that works actually, mate. I'll be like, the links do not take us to the destination pages when we click on the cards. I'll say still. What? You crazy machine. Out of topics, if you're in PowerShell, battery report command will give you a fairly nice report on the SOC of your laptop battery. No way. Didn't know that. Dragon says, I'm scouting for a heap of API keys that are free for searching, research and so on. But Polaris does all tools and Qwen2 5VL is baked in. Oh, that's interesting. So you can give him images. I like that. Yeah, I must admit, there is a lot of... Because there are API keys which are free, which you can use. And so I was thinking, like, yeah, sure, it's limited, right? But it was free. So I was thinking to myself, well, surely what you do, the move is to just do an open router API, for example, instead of Olama, or as an alternative. We've done it other apps already in the past, so it's not like, oh, how? It's a question of when. But yeah, you could use a free key, get a couple of spins. If you don't need to use it like a lot, it's enough. All right, let's see it. Oh, we are at Portfolio Showcase. Sample React app. This is a sample React app built with Vite. Oh my gosh! Right, go back. Zero vector. Oh boy! Do you know what? We've done it. We've done it. It's glitchy, but we've done it. Portfolio Showcase. Look, this is the Portfolio Showcase. It's the same idea as what I've done. See, the idea is that this becomes the new Origin holding page, or this becomes the new Origin homepage, and like all of the different sub-sites that are on Origin will be as cards. And obviously we can like overhaul it to make it have categories and stuff, but for now just alphabetical until there's too many. I think this is going to work. It's a bit boring. My only complaint is it's a bit boring. But that's like one prompt change. Also, have we lost Font Awesome? Can't tell. I don't think so. No, we got the icons. Or do we though? P S Z. Kind of cool logo. Just a globe with Z next to it. Kind of cool. So yeah, like I said, this is nice actually. So in case you missed it, I know most of you have. And you mean dark mode? Yeah, dark mode. Oh, guys. we can implement dark mode as the default theme. I should just say act, but we will do plan and then act. But yeah, this website's nice. We're going to use it. I might like change up a few things, but it's essentially, yeah. But the core feature is I just wanted a front page, because it probably won't be the main front page for the whole domain, but it will be a front page, right? For like the portfolio code section. And then each mini site can link to the GitHub, the YouTube video, the this, the that, okay? Because at the moment it's all disjointed and disconnected, and I'm trying to like go through it and get like my top 20 best bits and put them all up there. That's the idea anyway. Because I think half the problem is people don't even know what I've got to either copy or learn from or whatever. Tailwind set up, no dark mode. Update Tailwind to enable dark mode. Update app. Update component. Now sometimes it messes up and it forgets to do the font color, but it's claiming to do grey here. So change card backgrounds. Okay, off you go, Mason. And this is probably going to be an easy win, to be honest. Yeah, he said it now. See, now I've said it's going to be an easy win. It's going to all go horribly wrong. That's how it is. He wants to edit the thing. Will be done soon. Go the extra league. Oh yeah. The car, the stunt car. So when we say stunt car, we don't mean it's going to do stunts. We just mean it's going to be used like a prop. The thing is, the radio control kit needs some stuff. Oh, yeah. So we're still working on it. But the reason I haven't done any like base video stuff is because I'm working on a shoot with a remote control replica of a car, which we're going to record and then turn into Canny for Vase with my pre-trained drift models. That's the plan. Now, I don't know. It's the experiment, right? But because I've been working on this big contract lately, I have not had the time. Like, literally, it's just sat there by me right now. And I just need to I just need an hour, maybe 2 hours. Which is why I've just like put it on the side. I'm like, when I've got some spare time, it might end up being this weekend at this rate. But the idea is we're gonna get it all running, do a shoot, and then we've got some source video, because I believe that kind of thing is viable now. Hang on, let's have a look at this. Dark mode would be nice, says Fernicar. Artificial Development Lab says, I just joined the live stream to see your GitHub is back. Smiley. So did you figure out what happened? Was it the AI or something similar restricting your account? Yes, it was their AI. Their AI went crazy and didn't just lock down my account. It locked down any account that was associated with my fingerprint. And that was actually quite a few GitHubs. I thought it was only 2. I was wrong. There were others, which I just don't use anymore. They locked the whole thing down. And you don't know that you're locked down. You look at it, there's no warnings, no messages, no emails. Everything looks fine. You can upload, download, do whatever you want. But if anybody else goes there, 404. But yeah, that was a fun one. Thurnicar says, yeah, GitHub's not a proper saga yet, unlike Sage Attention. Yeah, every time Sage comes up, my computer gets cannonballed by... just gets cannonballed. Okay, let's see it. Whoa, dude, it looks just like all of my other websites. Look. Right now, I just want to point this out. See what this ended up looking like? And now we click on my 0 Vector 3 tutorial. Would you look at that? The style's consistent somehow. How did he do that? That's funny. I didn't think it would be so consistent. Like, obviously I'm going to want to put like some kind of image in there that looks a bit whack, but this is good. Because just to sort of recap this one off, I've been looking for a system for the longest time that can do something like this. So we have 3 websites in folders, okay? God knows how this is supposed to bloody work. How does this even work, man? What? Okay, so we might still have some issues, okay? I'm not going to consider this solved. Even though you can see it working, I'm not convinced that there's no minutia, style, fractal chaos. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by that, okay? So let's say we deploy this website and we put it all out and blah, 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 blah. And then it starts looking for public sites portfolio showcase. Because I can tell you right now that when this website gets uploaded, it's not going to have its own public sites inside its own web hosting, which means there's some trickery. And I think that it's probably going to be included in the dev team handoff. But because I don't know what that is, and I could potentially be going to sleep soon, what I like to do is this. Stop it. Yep. And we're going to ask for the coolest README ever, please. We can create, great way to start any prompt. We can create a README with the caps. Now, why do I type it in the caps? Because that's the convention. I'm just trying to mimic. If you mimic reality, it fills in the gaps. So we can create a readme.md which will document and explain in detail what this is, how to use it, and how to use it with step-by-step instructions for users, and below that a developers section with notes, examples, and code snippets. Now that isn't really for me or developers necessarily. It's very ingestible by another LLM when you do this. So I would actually create a more public README for the final release, which might chop out the developers into a separate note. You can look at my other repos and you'll see examples in the docs section, because I like to give people my code so you can fork it, plus all of the like rich hooks that I used for the prompting, so you can load that in as well, and then just say, I want this to be a completely different app that does all the same stuff, use it as a template, but make it mine now. Go. And it's very easy to do evolution and transformation just with simple language of what you want. I prefer the term sculpting, okay, when it comes to this sort of stuff, because you're like chipping away at this block until it does exactly what you want it to do. We can create a review which will document and explain in detail what this project is, how to use it, okay. This system enables a web template for auto discovery of new sub sites. That's the concept. this concept. I don't have a name for it. It doesn't have a name. Sites manifest JSON. I bet you have to update the name of any new folder. No, you don't. That's what I thought as well, Fernicar. What it actually, what I'm trying to do is, there's a script. There is a script, but the idea is, you know how I said I've got Claude Code running on the server, yeah? So here's the workflow. Upload my new website to a subfolder, which is in the right place, yeah? Tell Claude Code to run that script. He'll run the script, discover the new folder, add the metadata, and then refresh. And at the end of the process, there should be a new card for the new website. And if the user refreshes the browser, he'll see the card, he'll click on it, it'll go to the new site. So yes, you do have to, yes, there is stuff that needs to be done, but it can be an instant task for an on-server LLM. And that's what I'm working towards. Do you see what I mean? Because before, up until now, we would have had to go and edit the site's JSON to match. But now we have a script that can generate the correct information, which it can then pick up. And then, you see what I mean? And this is why I keep going on about LLM on the server with full access. Yeah? So it can do anything that we tell it to do. Now, can it do stuff we didn't tell it to do? Yes. But I don't believe it will. I believe that's science fiction. And if I'm wrong, I can bin the server and make a new one. So it's all for science at the end of the day. Have we done act yet? No, let's get it done. Yeah, the lesson is to include the task of updating the plan. Exactly. See, my idea was that if there's a script on the server that can be run to do that, that's a tool. And so then all you have to do is teach the AI to pull that lever, and that job is now automated. Because all you have to do is say, every day, check, you know what I mean? Every day, use this script to check for new folders. If there's nothing, don't change anything. If there is, write the new config. And then, of course, if I upload a new website, it will appear. I could also trigger it myself manually if I want. But imagine if you had 10 people putting websites onto... You know what I mean? It's not just you. And you don't, you know what I mean? You don't want to give permission to other people to do that. But you could have it an automated process. So, I don't know. Because the bot doesn't care. You know, the bot's not up to anything. And he's got no chat either. See, a lot of other people are like, oh, you don't want to put the AI on there. Oh, someone will chat with him and make him do something crazy. You'll be like, how? It's not a chat bot. You can't chat with him. That's not how, you know what I mean? It's not that kind of AI. So yes, there is an AI chat, but it's not public. You can't like access it in a browser and go, oh, delete yourself, you know? Oh dear. Right, should we actually, can we have a look at this now, or? Ah, it just wrote the README, so here we go. Modern React TypeScript. Can we get rid of all this so we can actually see the thing? No. A modern... Can I go... Ah, yeah, of course, plus. There we go. A modern React TypeScript web template with automatic site discovery dynamically detects new subdirectories, displays them with interactive cards. Perfect for showcasing multiple projects, portfolios, or applications in a unified interface built with React, TypeScript, Vite, and Tailwind. Automatic site discovery, modern dark theme, responsive, lightning fast. Smart metadata extraction. Extracts titles, descriptions, and tags from HTML. And then direct navigation. So that was the bit I was interested in. So run dev will be available here. Now, obviously, if you're not familiar with developing web with this, you can actually get Node to make you a distributable or you can make him build the distribution version of the website, which won't need any of this Node stuff. It'll just be HTML. So don't. I know some people are like, oh, how do I need? Because you don't need Node on the server because it'll make normal. It's only when it's in dev mode that you have all of this stuff. Now, there are other types of websites that can run Node, but that's not what I'm talking about. This is just a flat website. It's not dynamic, really. So just index.html. It does have React, so it's not like dumb, but it is not like PHP. People will be like, CSX is like PHP. All right, calm down. I'm not trying to get clever. I'm just trying to explain what's here and how easy it was to make the thing. Here we go. Auto discovery system. I've been trying to polish this one for a while. I tried all different types of approaches. This is actually the nicest one so far because you don't have to change yes, you have to run a script to like add it to the site manifest, right? But it extracts that manifest from meta tags that should be in your website design anyway. And if they're not, you can add them without changing anything. They just go into the header. But you should be using title description tags for search engines anyway, as far as I know, unless that advice has changed. As far as I know, that's a thing still. And then, like I say, it's going to create the manifest. So we're going to, on build, it does generate manifest, public site, blah, blah, blah. So what I'll probably end up doing is making a tool that does this without build. You know what I mean? So you don't need to rebuild it. You can just run a tool that does the same thing. Oh, did I just click and drag? Anyway. Oh, nice. You got a thumbnail as well. So we could even have a screenshot of it. Yes, and we have the dark theme, custom components I'm not bothered about, extending it. Yeah, now we're in developer's notes now. Look, do you want to deploy this on Netlify? What the hell is Netlify anyway? I've heard of Vercel, but I don't know what Netlify is. Who here knows about Netlify? Ship, scale, and ship faster with Netlify. What is this? What is this, like Blogger? Is it like WordPress for commercial sites? Ship your e-commerce site in a couple of clicks. Next.js. Okay, so it's web design for e-commerce? Question mark. Deploy your apps to global network from Git, custom domain, instant build and deploy. Okay. Got React. Another one I wanted to try out was Svelte. Everyone was telling me you need to try Svelte. And Nuxt is another one I've seen coming up lately. Nuxt. But basically these are all obviously like forks or deformations of like Next is. I bet you Nuxt is related to Next because they do this. I don't know about Svelte, but it just keeps coming up. You know, obviously we do a lot with React. We've done stuff with Next.js. Is it Next.js that can't use Tailwind? Don't quote me. I just know that one of them can't. I know one of them can't. It might be because it's built in though. Sometimes the reason for an incompatibility is actually a conflict, which means it's already there. So I don't panic when I see stuff like that. So many. Look how many there are. Keep going, 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 keep going. All right. So yeah, you're probably going to see this appear in some shape or form on the main Oregano website. But that's about everything I got for you. So slam on those brakes, and I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Attention, my Volnix readers! Hey, hey!